Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. Usually we do pick a card readings here on the channel, but I had a migraine earlier today and I'm not really feeling up to that. But I did feel the prompt to sit down and do a reading. So clearly Spirit has a message that they would like to bring through, and I've just set the intention that whoever this message is for will find it. I don't know what it's going to be, but they did direct me to a particular set of tarot and oracle cards. So I'm just going to pull randomly from the little basket that they directed me to, that I'm keeping these particular cards in. I feel this deck, so let's find out what the message is for you. Okay, Spirit, what is the message that you would like to bring through for those who are called to this video? There we go. Wishing. Oh, like a wishing well. And summon. Okay, so this is something that you've been trying to manifest. Deep, deep, deep in the heart of you is what I just heard. And they're showing me like deep into the subconscious. This is something that you've been wanting, maybe even beyond what you realize that you've been wanting. I feel like this is something that's been almost like a repressed dream. So it's not like this is something you're actively manifesting. I don't think you would have this on your vision board, or you would be conscious that this is what's kind of deep within your heart. It feels like it's in the darkness. That's what they're showing me. That's what I'm getting. But it's not like it's a dark wish. It's just like you don't see it. What is this wish? Let's go back in with this deck again. What is this wish? And why is it hidden? What is this wish and why is it hidden? I feel, oh, there's actually two cards there. I was going to ask for two cards there. Trapped. Okay, so this is, oh. I was going to say this is why it's hidden, but they said, no, this is the wish. So maybe it's to get free. And why it's hidden, congratulations, success. Wow, okay. Both of these have the moon, the crescent moon on them, and that's standing out to me. She's got the crescent moon on her forehead. This has got the crescent moon here. So there's something of that subconscious nature here that's what I mean, like it's repressed. Okay, so what is this? Why is it trapped? Kind of reminds me of like being trapped at the bottom of a well. You're all the way down in this pit and it's hard to find a way out. Like it feels like there's no way out. But somehow you are desiring to be free so deeply. I'm hearing independence. Oh, independence. Wishing to be independent, wishing to have success on your own in some way. Okay, they're directing me to a different deck now, the dragon deck. Let's get more information. I'm actually going to move these up a bit. So, wanting to get free by being independent and successful, working on creating that, but there's something of a block here around it, because that's why I'm getting like it's suppressed. So maybe there's a fear of success, because if your wish comes true, then you'll have to actually learn to fly. You'll have to spread your wings. You'll have to trust yourself fully. Whoa, okay. Let's see. Black dragon cocoons you so that your divine potential grows. Meditate, reflect, undergo a metamorphosis. Whoa, cocoons you. Like you've been in this cocoon. And it feels like this is the black dragon, like it's in the subconscious mind. It's so deep within the self. But there's growth here nonetheless. And it has been protected. So this deep core soul, I wanted to say wish, but it almost wanted to come out of my mouth as wound. Somehow this is simultaneously a wound and a wish. And I'm curious about how that works, because this feels, maybe being trapped or in this cocoon feels safer than being out. I'm hearing the word clout. Clout. That's like notoriety or being known or having some kind of, oh, right, success, having some kind of success. So maybe there's a fear of being public in some way. Air Dragon helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly, brings inspiration and hope, see life from a higher perspective. Maybe you've been down at the bottom of the well for so long that it's been hard to see above that. It's been hard to see out of the darkness, or it's been hard to even imagine success. They are showing me an actual vision board now, and I mentioned that earlier. I was like, I don't think this is the type of thing that would be on your vision board, because what would you put? Like, get me out of this hellhole that I've been in subconsciously, get me out of this inner trap, or like this suffocating cocoon that's been simultaneously my safe haven, my protective zone, and also my greatest like bane of my existence. That's not very simple. You can't really put that on a vision board. So it's like this underneath desire, this underneath need, I want to say, is actually what's driving some of these other connections, or it's correlated to these other connections in terms of what you're trying to accomplish, maybe externally in the outside world, in the earthly matters of your life. But there's something about this that Spirit wants to draw to your attention. It wants you to, I almost heard draw you to it. Spirit wants to draw you to this, which is, I guess, the wish. Like it's just been so buried inside you. They want to draw you to it so that you can rise above. And I'm hearing and seeing inspiration and hope being the key here. Inspiration and hope being the key. They said move to another deck. Okay. This one. Inspiration and hope are the key to get free. The Magician. This is most definitely about manifestation. I was getting that from Summon right from the beginning. And I just heard you have as much power in your pinky finger as someone else's entire being. Now they're showing me an army. Okay, it feels like you have more power in your little finger than an entire army. But it's like it's been repressed. It's been hidden in the darkness. It's been trapped away. Why do you fear your power? And I'm hearing that quote, we don't fear shining our light. I'm probably going to butcher this, but we don't fear shining our light. We fear our power. Oh my gosh. If you guys know what that quote is, can you put it in the comments below? I don't even remember where it's from, but I'm hearing that it was a reminder of that quote that they were giving me. Okay. Justice. The fair thing here is for you to be free because you've been trapped for a really long time. Limited by a lack of success. I did just hear that. Limited by a lack of success. They said get one more from this deck. Limited by a lack of success. Judgment. Justice and judgment coming out back to back. It's like the universe has spoken. They're showing me a gavel, like the judge has banged the gavel and determined a ruling here. And the judge, the jury, and the executioner have always been you. You are the magician. You have the power of the wishing well within you. You are the one who was trapped, and you are also the one who will free yourself. You are the damsel in distress and the savior. And you are meant to save yourself because they did say independent earlier. So you're meant to do this for you and with you. Meditate, reflect, undergo a metamorphosis. They just pulled me back to that message with the Black Dragon. So there's a lot of potential here that you haven't fully tapped into yet. And needing to go deeper is what they're saying. They said that need to go deeper, meditate and reflect on this. Maybe even go into like a deeper hypnotic state if you can, to connect with your subconscious. Doing some kind of hypnosis might be helpful here, because it will help you to see these parts of the self that have been trapped, and simultaneously wishing for freedom, but maintaining the status quo of this seclusion, or of this isolation, almost, is what it feels like. Even like being trapped in earthly matters. The trappings of success, I just heard. Whoa, what is this? The trappings of success. But you're meant to see beyond. You're meant to see above. I like bird's eye view, see a life from a higher perspective. And this wise crow is trapped in the cage. But if you let him out, maybe this is like your psychic power or something like that. If it's let to roam free, you'd be able to see a much higher perspective of yourself and of reality. Confusion. Okay. So this is why I think that it's been difficult, because you've been in this cocoon and maybe got stuck there almost, or like there's a part of you that's stuck there. Maybe it's not even the entire version of you, but we have multiple different layers of the self. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here with confusion too. It's like there's the human, the earthly you here in this white figure. And then there's the soul you here represented by the gray. And then you have the higher you represented by this black angel, which is interesting that they've chosen that color gradient instead of the other way around. Then you have the black dragon and the black crow. So there's something about the color black that's very significant here. A lot of these cards are black too. And I didn't mean to do that, but Spirit told me to choose that basket of cards, and that's what was in it. So, they're showing me all of these this looks like an egg or an ovum, and then this looks like, sperm going into it. So it feels like there's something about fertilization. This might have been like inception. Confusion, like this deep confusion. Oh, right. They're bringing me back to the message before about, you're simultaneously wishing for freedom, but also not wanting it. So that's, of course, going to be confusing, because you can't have your cake and eat it too in this circumstance, or you can't stay in the cocoon and fly free at the same time. It doesn't work like that. But to stay where you're at will limit your power. So you are meant to fly free. You are meant to summon the power to free yourself. Actually, that's what they just said. You're meant to summon the power to free yourself. Compassion. Perhaps some self-compassion here is needed, and I want to say warranted. Like, it's warranted. Have compassion for yourself. You didn't mean to block your own success. This feels kind of like subconscious shadow work needing to be done around this unconscious, potentially self-sabotage pattern. But it's not here. We're not talking about this so you can go and beat yourself up over it and go, hey, it's me, I'm the problem. No. It's so that you can have compassion for this part of you that doesn't feel fully safe to come out of the cage or to come out of the cocoon, even though your wings are ready. I'm hearing atrophying. Your wings are atrophying in the cage. You need to spread them. You need to exercise those wings, that freedom, that independence, that autonomy, self-sovereignty, and have compassion for the part of you and the reasons behind maybe why that didn't feel safe. I'm seeing you gathering your power, like you're summoning it. You're summoning your power. Maybe you've been doing this for a while. So have compassion for yourself. However long this takes, you will get there. Success is literally on the table here. I just get this feeling, and I'm getting full goosebumps, that you will have success. The thing is that you kind of just need to give yourself some time to work through this duality within yourself. These two opposing factions of the self, the white wolf and the black wolf are kind of at war within your mind. One is fear, one is love. Which one you feed is which one wins. You probably heard that parable. But in this case, it's like three of you. So it gets even more complicated. And you have been needing time to summon your strength. Stillness. You've needed this time. You've needed this stillness. So really acknowledge that and understand that. That's what Spirit wanted you to know here. And you're a lighthouse too, by the way. Like, I see you shining, and I was mentioning that they were giving me that, the association to that quote about shining your light. It's kind of like fearing your own power. Oh, and I heard, and what that might bring. And what that might bring. And they're bringing me back to before when they were talking about the trappings of success. So do you trust yourself? Can you have compassion for yourself to be able to be the real authentic you? The fully fledged and in full flight version of you. Can you trust yourself to do that? And what would that look like? What would that entail? The wings and the tail, we're talking a lot about flight and wings. So wingspan, like your ability to stretch yourself out into your full presence. And then the tail makes me think of Rahu and Ketu, and the tail being the south node. So maybe this is something from the past, or even further back, because it's so deep in the subconscious, from past lives, that has made it hard for you to accept your power and to fully step into your own light. Accomplishment. Look, accomplishment and success. This is destined. This is destined for you. Whoever I'm talking to, you were drawn to this reading for a reason. Spirit put you here to hear this message for a reason. You are destined for success, for accomplishment, but there's a process to this. And the stillness was necessary for you to get clear. Because the confusion, if you tried to implement stuff and then you kind of got pulled back, or you get like tripped up or something like that, maybe your own mind starts playing tricks on you. Yeah, it's like almost like optical illusions of confusion. But in the stillness, all is revealed. And so if you stare into the reflection of that wishing well, even if it's scary because it's dark down there, you're going to see beyond the illusion of that confusion. And you will come out of this victorious. You got the trophy here. So there's victory here. You're going to get out of this trap. You know, you've got the trapped there. And then this thing always reminds me of a net. So it's like you're coming out of the trap. You're getting out of the trap. And it feels like it was a mental trap. Yeah, big time. And this mental trap really kind of set you back here. But again, I don't feel like it limited you in the way that you maybe feel like it did. Does that make... I'm trying to put into words what I'm feeling here. It's like maybe you feel like you can't ever have success. Maybe it's in love because we've got the chained up heart here. Or maybe it's in business, or just generally in life, or in your spiritual growth. It's like whatever it is. I feel like you perhaps believe at some deep, maybe even subconscious level, that you are not as powerful as you've been told, or maybe you've been told you weren't powerful, and you trying to inspire that within yourself, or starting to see that feels like a lie to you. But you've got to know here that whoever I'm speaking to, you are very powerful. Way more powerful than you realize. And you haven't accepted that. That's what they're telling me. You have not accepted how powerful you are because you haven't seen it. You haven't felt it. Maybe you got snippets of it. Maybe you got like distorted mirrors of it. Maybe you had moments or flashes, but you have not seen your full power yet. Not even close, I just heard. Not even close. Wow. So this divine potential is still there. And they're bringing me back to the message that they said earlier about the atrophying wings. They want you to know that that does not mean that you can't instantly spread those wings and get back to full power. Just because something has atrophied doesn't mean that it's broken or that it can't be strengthened again. And it will be. I'm getting mind over matter. They just said that. They said mind over matter, and then they took me down to the air dragon, and it says helps you rise above earthly matters. So because this was a mental trap, the only way to get out of it is mind over matter. But the problem here is that the mental trap can reflect in the outside world, where it's like, I'm not physically able to see the full use of my power or to exert that, or to see it reflected back to me, or I'm manifesting, or I'm putting intention into things, and then it's not showing up physically. And that's part of the illusion. That's part of the trap, because it keeps you stuck in that cycle of believing that you're not powerful. So how do you break through that, Spirit? They said go to another deck. Okay, which one? This one? No. Oh, the archetypes deck. Okay. How to break free from this mental trap? What archetypes are needing to be embodied here or would be useful? How to break free from this trap? I feel that card. Hero, heroine. I mentioned like damsel in distress and savior. This is exactly what this is talking about. So the light attribute is passion for a journey of personal empowerment. The shadow attribute is escapism and a false sense of heroism. Okay. I just keep hearing you're your own savior. It's giving me like main character energy, like you've been in like this mental war and been in this consciousness trap, and you're needing to remember who you are and how powerful you are and what you can do to get to the top of this mountain. Mind over matter. Yeah, it's like I guess perseverance, but it's all to do with personal empowerment. This is the whole message. And we have child divine. Light attributes innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests a special connection with the divine. You definitely have a special connection with the divine. To have this amount of power and access to light within you, you are from like another world. Whoever I'm talking to with this reading, like you are from another world and you have access to the divine because that's where you come from. Like that's what you are. You are a child of the divine. The shadow attribute here is an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. And I think this is why you have felt so trapped and confused, is because you had success sort of dangled in front of you, or you've been having that intention to move towards that success there the whole time. But it feels like things are against you and nothing works out. And no matter how much you try to manifest and get still within yourself and trust the process and keep plugging away at it and do the mental work, it just doesn't seem to go, because there's this sort of fear of vulnerability of what if I become great? What if that puts me under attack? Feels kind of like a persecution imprint, What if my potential grows so big that I can't control it? What if my potential grows so big that I get attacked for that? What if my success becomes so big that it collapses in on itself? Like there's all of these what ifs. It's not a fear of failure, it's a fear of success. And what that really stems from is this distortion in your perception of self. Because if you really knew who you were, you wouldn't doubt your ability to succeed or to fly or to be free for one single moment. There would be no doubt in your mind, and I'm hearing beyond a shadow of a doubt. And that's like legal jargon, and you have justice and judgment here. It's like, can you prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt? And the shadow makes me think of this subconscious shadow, this subconscious fear. And doubt was the seed of that mental distortion that created the confusion that made you, it's self-doubt. You're doubting yourself here, or you have been at a very deep level, probably because of something you've been through or multiple things that you've been through. Because it feels like this isn't just one thing that we're tapping into here, because if it was, then it would be simple. You'd be able to get to the root of that shadow thing and you would nip it in the bud, and you'd be free and you'd be flying and you'd be successful. Because I feel like you're very magical and capable, And if it was that easy, you would have already done that. And so this is what leads me to believe it's not easy. It is complicated. It is complex. There's multiple different factors here. And there's a need for this integration and understanding, like a deep understanding. The only way to get to it, though, is you kind of have to like go down into the darkness and get really, really still, which feels extremely scary. I'm hearing the word petrifying. Ooh, this might even be like a freeze response, because petrifying makes me think of when the nervous system goes into the complete shutdown phase of being overstimulated, and then you really feel helpless when that happens, because that's the last ditch effort. The nervous system shuts down when it's the last ditch effort. It's like, well, I can't fight, I can't flee, I can't appease whatever's happening here, so I'm just going to lie down and play dead. That's like the most vulnerable place to be. This may have been something in childhood, because I was getting that message about like since inception. And then we've got child divine here. So it could have been in like a mental trap that happened really early on, where you felt, I am getting the word disabled in some way, either literally or metaphorically. But it feels to me like you felt vulnerable in some way. And because of that, there was like this seed of self-doubt that was sown. And then that's what grew. But I'm seeing that you've been fighting it back. You've been fighting it back, or you've been working to undo that. And this is the magic that you're summoning now. It's a whole different level. Okay, I feel we're going to go in with one more deck now. It's a whole different level of magic. So what can be done here to harness this hero, victor, accomplishment, victory, success, magical child, divine, to redeem the self and come back into this strong, powerful innocence and purity? The wild hunt. Excitement, frenzy, and journey. Passion for a journey with the hero, and then the wild hunt with the journey. So you need to go on a journey. Maybe you've been in stillness for too long. Again, it's like there's no one simple answer for this or solution to this problem. It's like both. You need to find that inner stillness. You need to go within, and you need to go on an external journey. You need to go out. You need to go in and out at the same time. Because this is a dualistic issue that has two sides to it. So you kind of got to hit it from both sides. If you only hit it from one side, it doesn't work. It doesn't resolve. And you keep they're showing me somebody walking in circles. Okay, so to resolve this, you need to get excited. You need to get excited about what you're doing. And there's something about like a spider web. She's got spider webs all over her dress here, which reminds me of this net, which reminds me of that cage. So there's something about maybe even like, oh my God, you know what they just showed me? They showed me the bird in the cage sticking its wings out through the cage and flying with the cage still on it, like it's wearing the cage as an outfit. It's kind of like the butterfly not fully being able to break out of the cocoon. So it's like, well, I'm just going to shove my wings out the cocoon and fly like that. Like I'm just going to do what I can. And then eventually that the cage falls off or the cocoon dissolves. So it's kind of like you have to, it's almost like doing it before you're ready, or forcing it a little bit, but in a good way. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what else. Healer, nourishment, and nurture. And you have compassion here. Definitely some reparenting work would be helpful. Definitely that would be helpful here. Reparenting the self, re-nurturing yourself, getting very loving, especially if there's like an inner program around criticism, self-criticism, or anything like that. I heard go deeper. Yeah, go deeper. Okay. The ancient elder experience and lessons. This is quite a profound lesson for you. And It is teaching you patience. It has taught you patience. It has taught you compassion. It has taught you to look into the darkness. It has taught you to fight for what you want. It has taught you how to manifest, even against all odds. It has taught you how to overcome confusion. And it's allowing you to tap into your ancient power. There's like these finite structures that they're showing me. I don't know what this is about, but they're showing me these finite structures in the soul matrix or the soul blueprint that you can tap into. And it's like a network of energy. Yeah, it's like a network of energy that, when used correctly, powers you up. But it's like it was pinched in certain areas. Like, I don't know, like pinched nerves or like pinched energy points in your body, like nodal points or some kind of, what are they, nodal or nadial points? I can't remember. But it's like energetic pathways in the body that were sort of pinched off and need to be reopened so that you can fully use the power that you have. And you know what they're showing me is actually an image that, this is a synchronicity that they were showing me yesterday and today. They showed me a starving lion, and they kept showing me like these really powerful animals that had been malnourished or maltreated. And they were telling me, just because the lion is underfed or sick doesn't mean that it's not a lion. It just needs the right circumstances. It just needs the right environment. So there's something about that as well. Maybe even literally going on a journey or physically changing locations or environment or work structures or something like that could change the circumstances or the result, because you're able to get what you need and fully understand your power. Otherworld, veil, illness, transition. Oh my God. They told me to stop and talk about the sick lion before pulling this card. I was going to pull the card, and then but they were showing me that image and they said, talk about it first. And here's why, because the next card was to do with illness. So, and they did say something about disability as a child, or like feeling, this doesn't even have to be from this life, because this is behind the veil, right? Like this could have been before you, like you transitioned from a previous life and came here into this life. Rebirth on the bottom. Yeah, I'm just saying, you'll sing a rebirth, feasting, and joy. It came into this life, but it wasn't really a fresh start, because you kind of had this carryover of this past experience. That's why, oh yeah, nourishment. There's literally, it says nourishment right here. And they were showing me that emaciated, sick lion. So it's like, you need the right nourishment at the soul level, energetically, or the right nourishment in terms of what motivates you. Like, what gets you excited? What do you want to pursue? Because that's the journey that is going to allow you to become the hero or the heroine. You already are that. They're telling me you already are that. It's just like you need the opportunity to see that in action. Because it's like, it's kind of like after somebody breaks their leg and they sit for so long, or it's in the cast for so long that it becomes a little bit emaciated, or it becomes weak. And then that person, there can be almost like a complex about it. Like, oh, my leg's weak. And you start favoring that weak leg. Now they're showing me Finding Nemo with his one fin, and he's like, no, I can do it. Like, it's kind of like there's these two parts of you. There's one that's like trying to favor that weakness and say like, oh no, I need to be careful because I've got this weakness. And then there's this other part of you that's like, screw it, I need to prove that I can do this, not to anyone else, but for me. Like, I need to know that I can do this. And it's like these two parts have been warring against the self. So this is where the confusion has been. Tapping into what this is showing you about your power is really helpful, because it is mind over matter in this case. It is like, I don't want to say psychosomatic, but it's like everything starts in the mind. And the mind has a massive influence on the body. Literally, like when we look at the brain and how it controls the muscles and the skeleton and everything, it's all hardwired into the nervous system. So there's, even from that biological standpoint, there is a mental root to this. And then at the soul level, yeah, definitely, because it's in the subconscious, which is that way below the tip of the iceberg part of the mind, which is actually like 95% of the mind. So like you have so much untapped potential here. And I feel like you've probably heard that a lot. I don't know why. I just got this feeling, whoever I'm talking to in this video, I feel like you've gotten that a lot. Like you just need to apply yourself, or you have all this untapped potential. Like if you only could do this, or if you only could stop procrastinating, or if you only could just get up and do it, you would be so great. And there's a part of you that's like, yeah, I know. And there's a part of you that's like, no, I can't. So again, it's these two parts of the self need to come back together. So nourishing yourself with what brings you that sense of excitement, or what gets you excited, what gets you up in the morning, what gets you out the door, what makes you want to do something, what is a goal that you really, really want, that no amount of this previous illness or weakness or confusion or doubt can stop. That, I think that's kind of the cure to this, is to hold space for yourself, love yourself while you're doing this, and then just charge forward. Like, don't take no for an answer, including from yourself, and choose something, and put all your energy or focus into something that is going to be so important to you that you are unwilling to back down or unwilling to stop. You have a lot of, also, here's another message coming through, you have a lot of otherworldly support. Because you are a child of the divine, you have a lot of divine support. So angels, spirit guides, star family, protective beings, spirit animals, ancestors. Yeah, right here, the ancient one, the elder. You have a lot of support. Fairy realm, definitely. Like you've got a lot of support here. So being able to tap into that, I think, would be helpful as well. Knowing that you're not doing this alone, but you are doing it independently. Again, it's like this paradox. The whole reading here is like paradox. It seems counterintuitive, these two dual opposites, these polarities. But the thing about polarity is that they're the same thing. It's just on a spectrum. So you're learning to pull those two together and walk the middle path. That's what this is about. And that's where your power resides, is in that unification of those dualities. That's where it all comes together. And that's where you'll achieve success. All right, they said that's it. So that's the message that Spirit wanted to bring through for whoever was called to this reading. And I hope it was helpful. I really do. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of blessings, lots of nourishment, nurturing, healing, refreshed and renewed excitement for what lies outside that cage. Sending you strength and healing for those wings to be strong so that you can trust them to carry you to your next destination, wherever that may be, for your greatest and highest good. Success. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.